Hello, classmates and professor. I chose to speak about the APGAR scale, the Ages and Stages questionnaire, and the Mullen scales of early learning. To start off, the APGAR scale is a test that I am familiar with because I am the mother of 3 girls and had this test administered to them right after birth. So I have a connection with it. I remember feeling the need to know what their score was because, like most parents, I feared that my babies might not be healthy at birth. The APGAR scale scores the heart rate, the respiratory effort, the muscle tone, the body color, and the reflex irritability of a newborn within the first 5 minutes of being born. Each category gets a score between 0 and 2. The points are then added up for a possible high score of 10. A score of 7 or higher means the baby is in good condition. A score of 5 may indicate developmental difficulties, and a score of 3 or less is of serious concern because it indicates a problem for the infant's survival. The second test that I chose is one that I am familiar with but have never used, the Ages and Stages questionnaires. The funny thing is that a few years ago I was given the complete monitoring system by the Early Childhood Coalition. I still own the system along with the questionnaires and instructions on how to use it. But unfortunately, sometimes we are so set in our ways that we do not welcome change. I have been using developmental checklists the entire time I've been in this field, and I thought that this test would be too complicated to use. After reading about it in our textbook and doing further research online, I've come to realize that it is not complicated at all, and that it will not add to my already busy days because the questionnaires are given to the parents to fill out. So the screening process is done by the parents, not the teacher. This has extended my knowledge and has changed my erroneous perception of the test. The Ages and Stages questionnaires measure cognitive, language, motor, and social development. For my third test, I chose the Mullen scales of early learning, which measure cognitive function in infants, toddlers, and young children up until the age of 5.5. In this test, the child's intellectual development is measured through the way the child responds to planned activities. Once a red flag is raised, further observation and testing will be needed. Although the Mullen scales are not defined as an intelligence test, the composite scores are referred to as an estimate of the intelligence. The Mullen scales of early learning are used in many studies of autistic spectrum disorders. After further research on the Mullen scale of early learning, I found an article written in the Developmental Behavioral Pediatrics Journal that said that one of the weaknesses of the test is that studies of children with specific conditions, such as language delays and cerebral palsy, were not completed at the time of standardization process. So it is unclear how useful it is for these subgroups. My biggest challenge is the whole idea that intellectual testing can be performed on infants. I would like to find out how accurate the results turn out to be once the children are older and the intelligence tests are re-administered, especially if no intervention has taken place. Thank you.